desk in all police stations to ensure victims receive immediate help.
Our weakest link is our police force. They're the most horrible people that you can go to report domestic violence or gender-based violence. They are our weak link. There's nothing we are doing if we don't take them on. In fact, we don't need them at the police stations. Take them to the hospitals. That's where we rush the girls and the women. Then they can take the OB from there. But when you go there, the women are embarrassed. It's like you're stripped naked and raped all over again when you go to the police stations.
Concerns also raised over cyberspaces, where cases of online harassment and abuse are on the rise, with activists now pushing for better protection to make digital spaces safer for everyone. Gender equality in institutions and workplaces was also highlighted, as leaders emphasized the need for fair representation, urging institutions to strengthen their commitment to create safe and inclusive environments.
I want us to look at all the state corporations, make another list of shame. How many women chairpersons? How many women are chairpersons of state corporations? We want to make that list so that we know. How many directors, women directors, do they have? I want us to go to the private sector and do the same thing. And just see the directors, the top management, who are they? How many women, how many men? I want to know the percentages. That's the only way we will begin to put pressure to bear.
Economic empowerment for women was also discussed, with a recommendation of 30% of government procurement tenders to be allocated to women. Officials believe that this could boost women's financial independence and resilience.
8 million women with initiatives that will allow them to thrive and reach their full potential. 5 million as presented is just but the minimum target of the office. I want all of us, before we leave here today, to commit in supporting any of the programs and accelerate them. Seated here are our women leaders. They will not do it alone. They will do it with you on that table.
This precedes the upcoming 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, which begins on November 25th.
We also need to...
Gertrude Burgay, K24 TV.
Head of Public Service Felix Koskei has warned primary school heads against mismanaging of over 54 billion shillings school capitation meant for primary schools and junior secondary schools. While officially opening the 2024 Capture Conference at Sheikh Zayed, Mombasa, Koskei called on school heads to adhere to procurement policies and laws, as any head teacher found to have mismanaged the funds will face the law.
Schools, you are getting about 1,500 shillings capitation per student. And now, in JSS, you will be getting 15,000 shillings per student per year. When you are given money, spend it well and account. We don't want the Auditor General to come and say, there was a problem here, there was a problem there. You account your money.
Tulikuwa tunatarajia Chief of Staff ataongelea juu ya sisi change grade, kuongezewe pesa na vitu vingine, lakini ametupea tu vitisho kuhusu matumizi ya pesa ambayo tunatumia vizuri. Pesa hii tunatumia vile serikali inatuongoza. Lakini sasa yeye tulikuwa tunatarajia tuambie kuanzia mwaka ujao sisi kama principals wa junior school tutaongezewa kitu. Tumesikiza mpaka tukachoka.
Wakileta haraka sana kwamba tushikwe na tuchukulie tuhukumiwe ni kwa sababu ya hii fedha, na ndio tunajifunza tunapoendelea kufanya kazi haitakuwa halali sana.
Now, head teacher of junior school, we don't know whether he's a principal, head of institution.
Tungependa jina libadilishwe kwa sababu majukumu pia yameongezeka, na vile vile pia grade tupandishwe grade.
Kwani mbona serikali isipige budget na pesa ambayo inahitajika ya michezo katika viwango vya county na region isichukuliwe, ili wakati inakuja tayari hiyo imechukuliwa? Kwa nini iletwe tena irudishwe kwa hizo ofisi kufadhili michezo? Mpaka kiwango cha kitaifa shule zinaumia sana haswa wakati wa michezo.
Well, let's now have a look at some business news. The Kenya Revenue Authority has remained adamant on the proposal to enforce registration of all mobile phones entering the country, where it will be compulsory to submit details of the IMEI number, import details, all locally and imported. Committee who read an intention to flout the data privacy law in a move seemingly intended to net locals and visitors who are not tax compliant.
Appearing before the Senate Committee on ICT, the management of the Kenya Revenue Authority stood their ground on the implementation of a directive that will see mobile phones entering the country, registered in a move aimed at enhancing traceability for tax compliance purposes. The authority indicating that the primary purpose of the registration was ensuring there is an updated custom register of all phones either imported or locally manufactured.
This is purely for purposes of ensuring that we have that devices that are in this country are customed, or the customs has been paid. We are going, the public notice was principally out today. It's mainly targeted at importers and manufacturers. Yes, there's a passenger component to it, but there's going to be a follow-up communication and info pack.
It is a statement that didn't go well with senators, who alluded that KRA was on the verge of contravening the data privacy law in accessing financial records of Kenyans.
You are in the process of now linking your systems to our phones so that you can recover your taxes directly from our M-Pesa account or from the data we transact. I just don't know how that aligns to the existing Data Protection Act.
According to the senators, the move intended to compel mobile phone owners and retailers to submit details of their IMEI number, import details, and precise model descriptions for all mobile phones is a move that will attract resistance due to the opaque manner of its introduction, as well as the insufficient justification given.
You put a lot of pressure by especially the executive to look for more money. It's also wise for you to advise so that if things don't go right, they know you'll have advised. You are at the policy level, so you should be able to generally advise. You know, it's good to tell the boss, I think for now this is not right. Not just to say yes, sir, or yes, madam.
The committee also faulted recent measures taken by KRA in reintroduction of taxes, with some being among those rejected in the Finance Bill 2024 that led to massive demonstrations across the country.
Do you think the country has healed from the GNC issues for you as the experts in that area to reintroduce what was rejected by the country?
They're trying to introduce what we call digital tax levy, which was in the previous collapsed Finance Bill 2024.
Sam Batarumangi, K24 TV, Nairobi.
Elsewhere, Environment Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale has called on businesses to adopt sustainable practices to protect the government for present and future generations. During the launch of the sustainability report by Biofoods, Duale emphasized that both private and public companies can contribute to environmental conservation by committing to long-term sustainable initiatives. Joachim Westerveld, CEO of Biofoods, echoed Duale's sentiments, emphasizing the company's mission to prioritize the well-being of employees, farmers, customers, and the environment.
A peripheral issue. It's not something that any serious company can just put it as an AOB. It's central to the survival and the success of Kenyan business. In the preamble of our constitution, preamble number 4, it obligates every citizen to protect and preserve the environment for the current and the future generation. In fact, it says it's one of our heritage.
We need to mainstream environmental sustainability in all our operations, from greening our staff by educating them on the importance of environment, greening our infrastructure, which you need to improve because we need a natural light in this building. We need to move to our homes and ensure that what we do here we also practice at home. We also need to look at 3 P's: people, planet, and the profit.
The government and manufacturing stakeholders have unveiled ambitious plans to revitalize the country's industrial sector during the joint opening of the 7th Changamka Kenya Shopping Festival and 2nd Kenya Industrialization Week at the Kenya International Conference Center. The dual event among other key partners in Kenya's manufacturing sector, which currently contributes 7.6% to the nation's GDP. Cabinet Secretary for Investments, Trade and Industry, Salim Mvurya, announced the government's target to increase the manufacturing sector's contribution.
We are also not participating in creating jobs. So, because we have many young people who don't have jobs, I want to urge Kenyans that the only way to create jobs and wealth creation for our country is for all of us to appreciate and buy our products that are made here in Kenya.
We must demystify the idea that our products are not as good as products from out there and focus more on building Kenya, buying Kenya as opposed to importing so many products. It is imperative that we as Kenyans take control and responsibility for the economy and for our own lives by supporting local entrepreneurs, SMEs, and helping them to grow.
The reason why we should promote these small and medium enterprises is because they have brilliant ideas. They have brilliant products, and through promoting them, we'll be creating a lot of employment. And these small medium enterprises have an opportunity to scale and to build into the bigger factories that can employ thousands and thousands of people.
By buying Kenya, build Kenya, we are promoting employment. Many of our youths, they are very much experienced, but they lack work. So when some of us entrepreneurs, we open this kind of work, we tend to employ a lot of people, and there's cash flow in the country.
Well, we take a short break at this point, but before that, officers from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations have apprehended several suspects in Muthaiga, Nairobi County, after being found in possession of fake gold. The officers from the DCI noted they got wind of the suspects following reports from some foreign nationals who had been scammed by the suspects. The suspects will now remain behind bars as more investigations into the case are being conducted.
At People Daily, we believe small actions lead to monumental changes. As we commit to a greener future, embrace simple steps, reduce, reuse, and recycle. It's time to go green. Kua Green. Switch off unused lights, opt for reusables over disposables, and